Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC, exclusively for the PlayStation 5. Burning Shores is the follow-up, not only from a gameplay perspective, not only a presentation perspective of Forbidden West, but also a narrative perspective as it follows the acts of what happened during the final mission of Forbidden West. So if you played that game, if you beat the game, if you beat the story, you're able to jump into Burning Shores. But if you didn't, you actually have to play through the entire narrative of Forbidden West to play Burning Shores, because it picks up right after Aloy has defeated the Zeniths that were tormenting her and potentially the world if they were able to do what they wanted to do. Silence, the devil's advocate if you will, played by the late Lance Reddick, tells Aloy that there is actually another Zenith located in what was Los Angeles, now the Burning Shores. So you're put to the task, go to LA and stop this threat, but you're immediately shot down, and thankfully you are able to encounter a new ally, Seika, who in a lot of ways is the opposite side of the same coin of Aloy personality-wise. That actually grows into a friendly rivalry between the two, as Seika discovers that there is someone who is just like her with a focus. But Aloy, of course, has a lot more experience with said focus, so it impresses her more and more as she sees Aloy doing the things that she believes she could do herself, just hasn't had the opportunity to do so. From a gameplay perspective, Burning Shores is essentially Forbidden West, for better and for worse. The combat is just as frenetic and, in a lot of ways, oppressive, thanks to the monsters, thanks to the machines that you have to conquer, because they are so aggressive. They just continuously pound Aloy as much as possible, never giving her any breathing room. And it's up to the player with their tool set to figure out how to distance themselves and land those critical shots. Thankfully, there are actually more skills, including upgraded Valor options, where certain Valor acts that were able to be used in the original game have been upgraded with a new level of experience, especially with the ability to go past level 50, so you are able to get more skill points, more experience points, and grow Aloy into a better combat specialist than she was in the original Forbidden West. Unfortunately, you don't have the options of taking on a plethora of new enemies to test out your new skills, because there are only 2 new enemy types in this DLC, and they're literally connected to one another. The first thing that you discover is the Sting Spawn, which are these essentially gnats that come out of eggs that are in the ground. But you find out soon after that the Bile Guts, which is a gigantic frog-like creature that spits out acid, has a tongue, and of course jumps on top of you, spawns the Sting Spawn as well. The Sting Spawn are very easy to be dispatched of. If you hit them with an electronic bolt, they pretty much explode, and it's a chain reaction. But the Bile Guts, these gigantic frog creatures, they are ferocious. But unfortunately, that's all there is when it comes to new adversaries, which I was really hoping for more, considering the promotion of how dangerous this new environment was. I was expecting more dangerous adversaries, different machines, different monsters than what we've experienced in the previous game and Forbidden West, but we got at least something. We also have new inventory options, new outfits, new weaves, even new collectibles, with one of those collectibles being a shard that's able to purchase said legendary or epic weaves and outfits and dyes and the like. Technically, I didn't have really any major issues, a few graphical glitches here and there. One of the biggest issues I had when playing Forbidden West and the original Horizon Zero Dawn is still here, where the game doesn't go through physical objects when Aloy is in the middle of combat. So say if you spin around and there's some foliage right at the camera, instead of the camera going through the foliage so you can see where Aloy is, the foliage is actually solid still, so it becomes a little bit difficult to see where Aloy is, especially in correlation with some of the adversaries coming your way. I had one weird glitch where my Sunwing refused to be mounted and just went around in circles, but that was just one non-game breaking thing that happened that got me a little worried at first, but thankfully didn't happen again. Overall, Burning Shores is a fine DLC, and to me it's perfectly priced. It's very reminiscent to me of the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era of DLC, where they give you actual good, copious amount of content that may not be grandiose in amount and length, But for the price, in this case $20, it is a perfect example of what DLC should be, especially if you're trying to push forward with a narrative that, in this case, actually leads into potentially a third game. If you enjoyed Forbidden West, this is perfect. This is a fine example of what Forbidden West did great. If you didn't, more than likely if you didn't like Forbidden West, there's no point of getting this as well. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores, exclusively for the PlayStation 5. Now if you don't mind, I have to go and climb this gigantic tower, take on some Ghost of Aloy's past, and if I'm not careful, I may get blown to smithereens and have no choice but to say, oh lordy.